Recognize myself for 5 minutes. Mr. Heyer, I want to talk about the family tried to do a motion to intervene. During this prosecution, let me back up. The Terry family tried to get some rights from the Department of Justice. Tell us about that experience.
Chairman, it seems like every interaction with the Department of Justice became a battle. They fought and continue to fight every request, every attempt that we've made to gather information, to understand the aspects of why DOJ did what they did. It's been a contentious relationship, and that's why I said early on, no American family deserves to be treated like the Terrys were treated by their government, by their Attorney General.
Now,
everything was a battle and remains contentious to this day.
The Department of Justice, in this case, argued that the family was, quote, was not directly or proximately harmed by the illegal purchase of the murdered weapon. The family does not meet the definition of a crime victim, end quote, was the position of the Department of Justice. I hope that the department is learning this lesson, and I can't imagine all the horror and things that you've gone through, then to be denied his status as a crime victim in this case is just, I just really, it's just so abhorrent. Mr. Dobson, tell us about your personal situation. You've had a list of so many, at one point I think you said something like the list of retaliation is so long you stop counting. It's almost too many pages to write. Being banned from public buildings, things like that. You're still currently a special agent with the ATF, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. Although I don't report to the ATF, I currently report to the FBI office in Tucson.
Tell us about some of the retaliation that you and your wife and your family experienced.
Well, again, I don't mean to dredge everything back up, but there were several attempts or threats to prosecute me criminally. There have been at least 3 internal affairs investigations that I was the subject of that I know about, and I didn't find out about those until after the fact. I've either been transferred or had to be transferred 11 times, transferred or reassigned. I have been routinely locked out of ATF computer systems, barred from ATF workspaces. I was libeled by the Department of Justice. A hit piece in a major publication was sanctioned on me. It just goes on and on, sir.
What did the Inspector General, when they dove into it, what did they find?
I like to call the Inspector General's report issued on Fast and Furious, 512 pages of you should have listened to John Dodson, because it pretty much substantiates every allegation, everything that I said was occurring.
How long, do you know how long they conducted this investigation? How many times did they interview you, that sort of thing?
I interviewed initially once in Arizona, and then they interviewed me again here in DC on the actual Fast and Furious investigation. I want to say that it began in maybe January of 2011, and I think the report was issued September of 2012, if that sounds right. At one point, I was involved in, including Fast and Furious, 6 OIG investigations, 5 of which I was the victim of some form of retaliation or another on. And if I'm correct, 2 of those have yet to be completed or resolved by the OIG.
And how many times have you been given a raise over the last 7 years?
I only get the annual COLA adjustment that all federal employees get, sir, the cost of living.
So you've had no other promotion?
Maybe a mandatory step. I'm a
mandatory,
steps.
no.
Correct.
Yeah. Again, something that we, as a committee, both sides of the aisle, we got to look out for the people that are are the whistleblowers here. And lastly, I just want to say to Mrs. Terry, God bless you and your family. As Mr. Gowdy was pointing out, you know, there's some people that run to the call, they answer the call. I've been in those hills and not the exact spot where your son was, but that is tough duty. Whether in the light of day or the blackness, the darkness, knowing that people are flowing north with nefarious intent to go out. Oftentimes, it's amazing. You go out as I have with the Border Patrol. Most of the times, these people are going out by themselves. Maybe going with 2 or 3 other people. Maybe they're within radio shot, maybe not. But doing a service for this country that they are not, in my opinion, adequately compensated for, or thanked, or understood. But I can't thank you and your family and loved ones, and we feel for your loss. And we will continue to pursue this until we get to the bottom of it, and I hope that we can fully provide you all the answers that you deserve, and as we should. And with that, I'll yield back, and now we'll